Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome to the 44th Pygame tutorial video from Centex for the New Boston. Where we left off, we were showing how to just draw pixels, and now I want to show you guys how you can draw all kinds of other things. So, we've got a pixel, we'll leave it there for now. And now we can do other things. So we can do lines. So, to do a line, it will be pygame.draw. And what do we want to draw? We want to draw a line. So, draw a line. And a lot of this stuff kind of works very similarly to each other. So hopefully you can get to the point where you don't need to like check the documentation anymore for like what order things go in. But I understand it can get confusing. But for the most part, it's always pygame.draw.line. Where do we want to draw it? Well, we want to draw it to game display. And then what color do we want that line? We'll make that line red. And then you specify the start point. So that's a tuple. The end point, another tuple, and then you can specify width. So we've got game display, red, and then now let's just make up a start point. So our start point could be 200, 300, so x 200, y 300, and then our end point, another tuple, could be 500, 700, and then finally width. How many pixels wide do we want it? Well, we can make it 5 pixels wide. So let's go ahead and save and run that, see what we got. So here we have our line. Okay, nice red line. Beautiful, beautiful. Close that. Okay. And what did we do, by the way? We specified a number that was bigger than our screen. So let's do this. 500, 500. One more time. Beautiful, beautiful. So nice line. Can you imagine drawing that like 1 pixel at a time? No. Okay, so we've got a line. Now, we're going to draw a circle. So pretty similar again, pygame.draw.circle. And this one is a little slightly different, but the first two start the same. Where do we want to draw it? Game display. What color do we want to draw it? Red. When do we want it? Now. Okay, so here, this one's a little different. You're going to specify basically the, where do you want the center of the circle to be? Then you've got the radius of the circle, and then you've got width. So, and that's like of the line. So, anyway, let's just go ahead and draw one real quick. So, circle, and then we're going to say 50, 50, and then we'll say the width 5. Okay, so let's just go ahead and run that really quick. So, there's our little circle. Okay, so 50, 50. Now, what if we said 100? So it's like 100 wide. So now you've got basically a big sun. Okay. So again, 50, 50 is just the center of our circle. So we could say instead 200, 200. Now it'll hopefully fit on the screen. Nice. So now we've got this big ball here, and it looks like it's going to roll down our line. So we've got that. So that's a circle. Now there's a couple other things that we can do, and we're going to do a rectangle next. We've already done rectangles, but it's good for a refresher. Pygame.draw.rect, and then again, where do we want it? Game display. What color do we want it? Green. And then this one is the top left, and then width and height. So green, comma, and then we want this to be 150. 150, 200, and 100. So 150, 150, top left, 200 wide, 100 tall, and that's basically all we're going to put in there. And it's green. So let's go ahead and save and run that. There she is, right on top. Nice. Now, finally, let's draw a polygon. So a polygon is a slightly more complex, but you can draw any polygon. So how do we do that? So first of all, the starting is, as usual, very similar. You've got pygame.draw.polygon, and then where do we want to draw it? Game display. Let me make some space here. Game display. What color do we want it? What color haven't we done yet? We've got green. We'll do white. White. Game display white, and then basically you specify all of the points, and then it's going to connect them all. So for example, we could do, and it's all points in a tuple of tuples. Okay, so let's just do we'll say 140 and 5. And then, oh, what have I done here? Hold on. I'm having a hard. Whenever we put too many tuples, it's just confusing. So when you have something like this, it can be confusing pretty quick. But it's a tuple full of tuples, and I think our parentheses are just fine. But you can always check your parentheses by holding Shift and like close the parentheses and make sure everything is highlighted that should be highlighted, and then you're off to a good start. So 145, and then we'll do 216, and then we'll do 88, 333. So let's go ahead and save and run that real quick and see if we got that. Okay. So again, we put 3 coordinates. So it made the 3 coordinates and then connected them all and filled them. So we can close out of this. Close. And then let's add some more here. Let's do 600, 222, and then 555, 222, something like that. I'm trying to make it over. There we go. So depending on the order that you put things in, it connects the dots all the time. So as you can see, this is all one object, but we've got a few this is a complete overlap as it was drawn, almost like it got folded over. So keep that in mind, that you can do that depending on the order that you draw things in. So we've covered over all of our other stuff, but you can see here that we understand we can draw pixels, circles, rectangles, lines, and then just any polygon we can think of we can draw. So while it's useful to draw sprites or use sprites, it's also extremely useful to not have to have a sprite. And you can't really accelerate sprites like you can accelerate graphics-wise drawing onto the screen. So anyway, that's going to be it for drawing all this stuff. And then basically in this tutorial, or this coming up game, we're going to be using drawing a lot more than we use sprites. And to an extent, sprites are really useful, and you can easily convert the game that we're about to make and use some sprites. So the game we're going to make is going to be like a tank game. So you can have a tank sprite, you can have bullet sprite or whatever, a shell sprite. You can have sort of an explosion sprite. Someone can make that animation, you could bring it in. But we're not going to do that. We're going to try to use a lot of drawing. There are some things that we might use a sprite for as we go, but for the most part we're going to try and draw all of this stuff so you can get kind of comfortable with drawing multiple objects over them and moving them as one. So anyways, that's what you have to look forward to. Again, please make sure that you have the old Snake script. That's basically what we're going to start with in the next video. It's going to be the old script that we left off with. We're going to cut a lot of stuff out of it, but then we're going to use it so we don't have to waste a lot of time rebuilding basically the same sort of logic that goes around the game. So anyway, with that, that's it for this. Stay tuned to the next video, and thanks for watching.